It's probably hopeless now. I noticed Kyle standing in front of the shed, so I approached him, wondering what he was up to. I thought he might have come to help, but the absence of two other people around the shed made me wonder if they had finished. With these questions in mind, I spoke to Kyle. "What are you doing here? Hannah, why?" He seemed startled by my voice and appeared disoriented. If anything, I was the one tilting my head in confusion. "Why are you here? Didn't you say you were going to the gym?" I heard that James and Katie would help instead. "Katie, seriously, what's gotten into you all of a sudden? This must be a joke. How could this happen?" He screamed and ran at full speed toward the shed. He tried to force open the door, and I called out to him, concerned. "Hey, what are you trying to do? Katie, she's inside this." At his words, I felt a pang of unease. I thought maybe Katie had been locked inside the shed, especially in this scorching heat. "Where's the key?" I threw it into the sea. I felt a sense of despair at Kyle's words. However, at that moment, another voice reached our ears. "She's not there. My name is Hannah. I'm 53 years old, a part-time worker, and also a housewife. I have 2 children, both of whom have moved out and started their own families. So it's currently just me and my husband, Kyle, living together. Frankly speaking, Kyle and I haven't been getting along well lately. He acts all high and mighty because he's the man of the house. Kyle has always been reluctant when it came to parenting since the beginning of our marriage. Because of this, our children aren't close to Kyle. They care about me, but they don't come to visit our home. They probably don't want to see a mother like you, which is why they don't come here. Kyle always blames me for everything. But I'm not the type to just sit back and take his criticisms. That's why we've been arguing a lot recently. Someone who listens to me is... You've been sighing a lot. Hannah, is something wrong? Matthew is my colleague at the supermarket where we work. He's also a relative of mine. We've known each other since he was a child, as we live in the same neighborhood. We reconnected at the supermarket and became close, sharing stories about our lives. Matthew has a girlfriend who is older than him. He plans to marry her after he graduates from college. Seeing Matthew happy feels like watching my own child succeed, and it lifts my spirits. On the other hand, lately, Kyle seems to have taken a liking to a young woman at his workplace. She's very thoughtful, and above all, incredibly charming. She always comes to me whenever she has a problem, and I truly believe she likes me. Maybe you shouldn't be so overconfident. She might just be consulting you about work-related matters since you're her boss. I cautioned Kyle for making a silly, unmanly face. Suddenly, his expression turned cold and unamused. On the contrary, you're anything but charming. What are you suddenly talking about? You always complain to me, and after giving birth, you've gotten so fat. Jason started to complain about my body shape. Indeed, there was a time when I had the luxury to maintain my figure. But after having children, I became busy with childcare and didn't have time to take care of myself. I always put my needs on the back burner. It's true that I gained weight, but I thought Kyle didn't need to criticize my appearance so harshly. Especially after the kids moved out, you've become unbearable to look at, turning into this chubby figure. It's true, after the kids became independent, I had more time for myself, which turned into enjoying snacks and indulging in food. I'm fully aware that my body has changed. You're no longer appealing as a woman. Seriously, not cute at all? That's a horrible thing to say. You're not one to talk to? Kyle, you picks on my appearance, has a protruding belly, and his hair has been thinning lately. Before he criticizes others for their looks, he should do something about his belly. Looks don't matter for men. Shut up. That's just a lame excuse. That's what I mean. Even your attitude isn't cute. Saying that, Kyle went into the room, and I sighed. Again, Kyle's childish behavior showed. I wonder if he'll ever get over this bad habit. Oh, good morning. Even when I greeted him, Kyle ignored me and silently went to work. When he gets angry, he has a habit of ignoring me for a while. Oh, this is really frustrating. Look. What happened, Hannah? You've been sighing a lot. Did you have another argument with Kyle? The one who addressed me with his usual refreshing smile was Matthew. I told him about the words from Kyle. Upon hearing it, Matthew seemed to have an idea. How about we head to the gym and break a sweat? Huh? The gym? Me? Yes. I've been really into the gym lately, along with my girlfriend. You can allocate the time you spend on childcare to the gym. I'm sure you'll lose weight and show Kyle. After giving some thought to Matthew's suggestion, I agreed. And we decided to go to the gym on our next day off. From then on, I started attending the gym. Initially, I was a bit apprehensive about going to the gym, but surprisingly, I found it quite suitable for my body. I began to enjoy exercising, and I was completely captivated by the refreshing feeling after a workout. Hello, Hannah. Hello, Matthew. Who's that? That's my girlfriend, the one I always talk about. I'm Katie, nice to meet you. I've heard about you from Matthew. I had several opportunities to meet Matthew at the gym after that. And I was introduced to his girlfriend, Katie. She was a wonderful lady with strikingly large eyes. As we met frequently, I became quite close to Katie. Can you listen to my concerns for a bit? Of course, go ahead. Katie began to talk about her annoying boss at work. It seemed she had a boss who was constantly bothering her. The boss seemed to constantly approach her with undue familiarity, repeatedly inviting her out for meals or drinks despite her refusals. Katie seemed quite troubled by it. That sounds problematic. Yes, but I have a relative who's an executive in the company, and when I spoke to him, he said they'd handle it soon. Well, that's good to hear. Still, it seems there are unpleasant people everywhere. In my case, I have one right at home. Hey. What? Kyle, as unapproachable as ever, didn't even greet me with a simple welcome back. Where have you been going every day? I told you, I've been going to the gym. I haven't heard about it. It's not that you haven't heard, it's that you never listen. You always ignore me. Or are you going deaf? I might have gone a bit too far with that. Just because you've lost a bit of weight doesn't mean you can get cheeky. You're attending the gym with the money I've worked hard to earn. It's not your money. I told you I'd pay for the gym with the money from my part-time job, didn't I? Perhaps realizing the truth in my words, Kyle, having no retort, silently left the room. By the way, I did indeed tell him. Regardless of his consistent negligence, I always informed him about new commitments or money matters. But I guess he never truly listens to anything I say. This is so frustrating. The following week, I was preparing to go to the gym again when Kyle appeared. Hey, how about tidying up the storage room soon? The storage shed. There's a large storage shed on our property, filled with various items. but almost everything inside belongs to Kyle. Despite his fickle nature, Kyle often takes up new hobbies and immediately buys tools and equipment online. However, he quickly loses interest and relegates these items to the shed. Why do I have to clean it up? Most of the stuff inside is yours. I'm planning to go to the gym right now. Shut up. Just do as I say. Who do you think you are? Kyle shouted at me and was about to storm off. I was at the end of my tether with him. Hannah, is something wrong? At that moment, Matthew and Katie appeared. We had plans to go to the gym with them today. They must have been worried after hearing the heated argument from my room. Who are you? I'm sorry, Hannah and I had plans to go to the gym today. I got worried when she didn't come out, so I came here. Oh, so you're gym buddies. Huh, Katie? Kyle. Kyle and Katie seemed to know each other. While Kyle appeared pleased, Katie looked uncomfortable, hiding behind Matthew. Please, come in and have some tea. You standing here is in the way. I assured Kyle aside and invited Matthew and Katie into the room. I explained that, although I appreciated them coming to pick me up, I wouldn't be able to join them this time. That's the situation. I can help with the cleaning. Why would you? Surprisingly, the two offered to help organize the storage shed on their own. Truly, that's like getting a piggyback ride on top of being carried. Honestly, Hannah, you must be feeling upset, right? Yeah, definitely. Having a man's help might make the work go faster, and while we're at it, you can go to the gym and take a break. That's right. As thanks, we'd be happy if you let us take something we like from the storage shed, and you can treat us to a meal next time. With a playful smile, they both said this. Gratefully accepting their kind offer, I decided to head to the gym. I wonder where Kyle has gone. I tried looking for Kyle in the house to let him know, but he was nowhere to be found. Given his cold attitude earlier, he might have left in a huff. Since he's not around, I'll go to the gym. Most of the stuff inside is junk anyway, so if you don't find anything you want, feel free to throw it away. Conveying this to the two of them, I headed for the gym. 2 hours later, feeling apologetic for the delay, I bought some ice cream on my way home. Neither of them were to be seen in the house. Thinking they might still be at the storage shed, I headed there. But only Kyle was standing in front of it. The two were nowhere in sight. They're probably beyond help now. Since Kyle was standing in front of the storage shed, I approached him, wondering what he was doing. Maybe he had come to help. But why weren't the two around? Had they finished? Such thoughts crossed my mind as I spoke to Kyle. What are you doing here? Hannah, why? He looked surprised when he heard my voice and seemed to have no clue about the current situation. In fact, I wanted to ask him if something had happened. Why are you here? Didn't I say I was going to the gym? I heard that Matthew and Katie would help in my place. Katie, are you serious? What's gotten into you all of a sudden? This has to be a joke. Why is this happening? In a scream, he dashed towards the storage shed at full speed. Seeing him trying to forcibly open the door of the shed, I called out with concern. Hey, what are you trying to do? Katie, she's inside. At his words, I felt a pang of anxiety. I thought maybe Katie had been locked inside the storage shed, especially under this blazing sun. Where's the key? I threw it into the sea. I was about to despair at Kyle's words. However, at that moment, another voice reached us. She's not in there. It was Matthew. He was glaring coldly at Kyle. Matthew? Thank goodness. Where's Katie? I saved her. According to Matthew, after they had cleared away most of the larger items, he had briefly left the scene to buy some juice. During that time, an unexpected event occurred. Katie, who was organizing smaller items inside the storage shed, ended up getting locked in. Katie had called Matthew on his phone asking for help, and Matthew had broken the window of the shed to rescue her. I took Katie to the hospital just in case. She's been admitted for observation today. I thought I had to tell Hannah about it. Such a distressing event, because the window of the storage shed is located in a spot difficult to see from the door. It must have gone unnoticed. But thanks to Matthew, who's been working out at the gym, he was able to break the window and save Katie. Given that the key had been thrown into the sea, if I had been the only one there, it would have been challenging to rescue Katie. Both Katie and I had our hair tied up today and were planning to go to the gym, so we wore similar shirts. So, in the dark storage, you mistakenly locked up Katie thinking it was Hannah? Yes, that's right. I never intended to lock up Katie. I thought it was Hannah. That's not the point here. The usually mild-mannered Matthew shouted at Kyle. Kyle flinched momentarily. It didn't get out of hand because I was there. If it had been only Hannah, it could have been a genuinely dangerous situation. Of course, I can't say it was fine just because it was Katie. I absolutely can't forgive you. Kyle looked downcast under Matthew's stern words. He appeared to be overpowered by Matthew's glare. Matthew then turned to me. Will you come with me to the hospital? Katie said she wants to see Hannah. Of course, I'll go. I'll go too. Why would you come? Maybe you should be preparing our divorce papers instead. Hannah brushed off Kyle's attempt to join them. Matthew also glared at Kyle and said, Right now, I'm desperately holding back my urge to punch you. Look, more importantly, I need to take Hannah to the hospital where Katie is. But if you waste any more of my time, no one can stop me. Kyle was overwhelmed by the intensity in Matthew's eyes and sat down. Ignoring Kyle, Matthew urged me to hurry up. I left Kyle behind and followed. Upon arriving at the hospital, I followed Matthew and entered Katie's room. Thank God. Katie? Hannah, I'm so sorry for worrying you. I'm the one who should apologize. I put you through so much. I'm sorry. Katie looked better than I had expected. However, the fact that she still had an 4 drip indicated that she had been trapped for a considerable amount of time. Katie's parents lived far away, so it would take them some time to arrive at the hospital. Hannah, there's something I have to tell you about your husband. What she revealed next shocked me, almost causing me to collapse. Kyle was the persistent and intrusive boss at the company that Katie had previously been troubled by. I knew he had the same surname as me, but it wasn't a rare one, so I thought it was a coincidence. However, it became clear when he came to our house that my husband and that boss were the same person. While alone in the storage shed, she considered telling me when she was suddenly shoved and trapped from behind. At that moment, I quickly turned on my camera and managed to record through a gap. She showed me her smartphone, and there was a clear video of Kyle fleeing with a key. Moreover, I'm sorry, Hannah. If you accidentally died, I could be with Katie, so do your best in that hot, stuffy storage room. The video also showed Kyle uttering those cold-hearted words. In essence, he wanted to trap me in the storage shed, thinking he could then be with Katie. I swear to God, there's absolutely nothing going on between me and Kyle. Of course, I trust you, Katie. The person I can't believe is Kyle. What on earth was this man thinking? As these thoughts ran through my head, Katie? Kyle, why are you here? Kyle rushed into the hospital room. Katie, startled by his sudden appearance, raised her voice. Matthew stepped forward to prevent Kyle from getting any closer. What do you want? To apologize. To Katie. You have no right to do that. Stay away. I've heard from Katie. You kept pestering her, didn't you? This isn't a joke. Matthew's well-toned physique from his gym workouts and his tall stature exerted pressure on Kyle. Anyone would probably be intimidated by Matthew's glare. Aren't you involved with Hannah? I know you both work at the same supermarket and seem close. Do you think I don't know? Well, we're relatives. Upon hearing this, Kyle looked surprised and frozen. It seemed he was shocked by what he hadn't realized. I didn't know that. There's no way you don't know about Matthew. Remember when you used to visit our house often when we were kids? Don't you remember playing with all the children? However, Kyle couldn't seem to recall. Probably because he always left childcare entirely up to me and never played with the children. True, I've had a close relationship with Hannah for a long time. However, it's been as trustworthy relatives, as families know each other. I didn't approach her with ulterior motives like you did, so please stop pestering Katie. Just leave. I don't want to see your face anymore. I don't intend to accept your apology. Please leave. Coldly dismissed by the three of us, Kyle finally gave up and left the room. Why did I ever marry someone like him? Filled with regret, I deeply bowed my head to apologize to Katie. Later on, Kyle agreed to the divorce. I don't want a divorce. I love Hannah. Initially, he strongly resisted the idea of divorce. He even thought about hiring a lawyer. However, his fear in front of Matthew prevailed, forcing him to sign the divorce papers. Matthew's presence indeed helped to smooth the divorce process. I then packed my things and returned to my parents' home. We'll be apart for a while, but take care of yourself. Thank you for everything. Likewise, I've been in your debt in many ways. Can I visit you there sometime? You're always welcome. With that, I promised to meet them again. When I revealed everything to my parents after returning home, they comforted me, saying, "You did well." Later, I contacted Matthew and the others to hear the full story of the aftermath. After I left Kyle, they reported him to the police with evidence. As a result, Kyle was arrested. Additionally, he apparently caused a scene when the police arrived at his home, and he had to answer for that crime as well. He probably won't be out for a while, and even if he is, I'll ensure he can't get close to Katie. Although Matthew said it with a smile, it seemed his anger hadn't completely subsided. Seeing that face brought back memories. Matthew was a calm and gentle boy from a young age, but when he got mad, no one could stop him. Children used to calm him down, so he often came to our house to play. However, now there are no kids to soothe him, and he even frightened Katie. If he shows his face in such a situation, Kyle is definitely out. I was thinking about this while having tea with my mother. I then stayed at my parents' house for a while, later rented an apartment in a convenient location for work, and was excited for a new start. During that time, I received a letter from Kyle, but I threw it away without reading it. I bet it said something like, "I need your help." Who would help someone who threatened my life? Saying that, I rejected all contact from him and cut all ties. From now on, it's better not to assume someone will save you easily. I don't have any annoying roommates, so maybe I should live with a pet. When I consulted Katie about it, a dog would be great. I absolutely love dogs. She loves dogs and strongly recommended getting one. However, due to apartment restrictions, she couldn't have a dog herself. Later on, she recommended an easy-to-keep dog for beginners, which I eventually got. Both Matthew and Katie were crazy about my dog and often took the initiative to take it for walks. Katie was discharged from the hospital without any after effects, and I was relieved. This confirmed there were no issues with their marriage. Later, my in-laws visited me. They even bowed deeply, saying, "We apologize for the trouble our son has caused you." I wondered how such a man could come from gentle and kind-hearted in-laws. It seems Kyle's grandmother spoiled him without disciplining him. Still, they recognized their mistake and decided to cut ties with Kyle after his release. That son is a disgrace to our family. They moved to ensure Kyle would not return to them and explained the details to my children. The children, who never really liked Kyle, decided to sever ties with him. Everyone around me blocked his contacts. It was when Kyle was abandoned by his family and relatives, deciding he would be on his own. Later, I consulted with my part-time jobs manager about the recent events. As a result, I was going to be hired as a full-time employee soon. I also received offers for financial support from my children, and I'm happy that I'll be able to enjoy peaceful days ahead. Later, rumors spread that Kyle was released. However, he had no one to rely on, had debts because of Katie's issues, and on top of that, he was fired from his job. The whereabouts of Kyle remain a mystery, but I no longer have any interest. Sometime after the incident, I attended the wedding of Matthew and Katie. Through the ordeal, the two of them deepened their bond and successfully held their wedding. There was also the happy news that Katie was expecting a baby. Seeing the two of them smile happily at each other, I couldn't help but shed tears. Congratulations on your marriage. I hope you'll be happy. Yes, we will be happy. Hannah, please hold our baby when it's born. In the joyous moments of the two, heartfelt blessings were given. I continue to go to the gym even now. Nowadays, my children are also interested in the gym, and if the timing works out, we go together to sweat it out, strengthening our bond as a family. Due to this incident, I was freed from troublesome individuals and regained the bond with my family. It seems like we'll be able to enjoy happy days together from now on.